Hi, Jamie. Thanks for submitting this assignment on time. Let's look at your rhetorical analysis. So, in your first paragraph, you do a nice job of talking about why you chose this particular article, what your personal stake in the article is. You say, I believe that author intended to make the article easy to relate to for readers, completing one of the author's goals. But then and to me, that's a little bit too vague. But then you say this: other goals are warning readers as students or older readers are trying to understand the transformation of students in college, of how vulnerable students are in their first year to setbacks and failure to prepare for college. That's really well done. And that's obviously something that you are personally going through yourself and probably struggling with. And that's the reason why you were drawn to this particular article. So that's really well done. So in this next paragraph, the assignment has asked you to talk about what you see as Kidwell's specific purpose and the audience that he sees, which will set up the frame for your rhetorical analysis. And I don't really see you talking about that. Um, you say students would go in college the same way as others. The author for the incoming experience would influence them to prepare themselves better in the classrooms. Your focus is on the students when the audience for this is actually the teachers of these students. I don't see you specifically talking about the audience that he's after. And then I also don't see you talking about the purpose. What do you see as the purpose of this article? You say here, I believe that Kidwell wrote like this because not only does he want to get his point across to readers, but he also knows that the younger generations have lower patience than older generations. So he tries to get to his point before young readers' patience and focus runs out. That's not really a purpose statement. So I don't completely understand what it is you're trying to say here in terms of what you see as his specific purpose. So this next paragraph is where you go into your actual rhetorical analysis by focusing on a specific move. And the move that you are focusing on is how he proves his credibility as a teacher. This is where he reveals his identity and he talks about why his audience should listen to what he has to say. And I think that's an important move that you're focusing on and well chosen. Um, you also say he provided more than that to ensure that readers would fully trust where he's coming from. I totally agree with that. Um, you quote him again, and then you say Kidwell doesn't want this, and that's why he's ensured that his credibility is solid. This is a nice little analysis of that particular move because you talk about the move, you identify the move, you talk about its purpose, and you also tie it to the audience that he is after. This is really well done. So again, in this next paragraph, you're still doing a very nice job of rhetorically analyzing. You focus on these two key terms here. That would be a choice of materials move. And you talk about how Kidwell, it's important that Kidwell point out to his audience that students come into high school as dualists. And through the process of going through freshman year, they become multiplists. That's what he's trying to get his audience of teachers to realize. And as you say here, I believe that Kidwell emphasized this in the article because he wants to point out what kind of change students go through in their first year of college. Absolutely. That is definitely what he wants his audience to realize. So your rhetorical analysis here is still very, very strong. So as far as your last paragraph here, I think you may have misunderstood the assignment just a little bit. What you seem to be doing here is just kind of hitting the highlights of everything you've talked about already, which is a traditional kind of conclusion. What I was looking for, it was a paragraph in which you laid out an outline for how you might respond in the next assignment. You focus on a number of important terms like dualists and multiplists. You focus on a number of different quotes from the article, but you don't say anything in here about what you could do with them. You focus on dualists and multiplists. How could you use those particular terms in your next paper? Maybe your purpose could be that you are trying to talk to not teachers, but you're talking to students, incoming freshmen next year, who don't really understand the difference between dualism and multiplism. And maybe your job in your paper is to try to explain to them why they need to understand that transformation they're going through. That to me feels like what it is you're trying to do in this particular paper, or at least that's where you're going, the direction you're headed in the next assignment. So thanks for giving this assignment some serious thought. And don't forget to check the grade in the grade book in my courses. Nice job.